I was writing the script for this video, it got too long, so I decided to split it in two. And if you haven't watched the first part yet, it's just one click away. After watching both parts, you will become master of learning. Or at least you'll get one step closer. Let's begin. We live in a time where communication became so easy that information is only one click away. There is a reason why the technology that you're using right now to watch this video is called information technology, or short, IT. Information is everywhere. Knowledge is free. Use it. As I mentioned a few videos back, a very good friend of mine once said, "You live, you learn." And I promised you to talk about this at some point. Today's the day. This statement alone provides 3 fundamental traits of learning. Number 1, learning is a journey and not a destination. You will never finish learning anything. The surgeons are reading medical journals every day. The mechanical engineers improve their tools every day. The bakers keep up with latest discoveries in nutrition. Software professionals are constantly learning new languages, frameworks, and tools. You get the point. Number 2, learning takes time. It does matter how intelligent you are, and it does matter how good you are at remembering things, but remember, hard work always beats talent. Unless talent works hard. Don't be too hard on yourself. Take the time to learn. Let me tell you a story about a math and physics teacher I had in school. His name is Mr. Vordak. So other teachers had problems fitting the school program into a tough schedule. I always felt like they were out of time, but not Mr. Vordak. He was, and I'm pretty sure he's still alive, so he is a pedantically correct individual who planned every minute of every lesson. Or at least that's how it felt like. Every lesson he would call out 1 or 2 students to solve an equation at the blackboard or to calculate something on those big-ass calculators that we were pretty much forced to buy. Of course, we never liked these interrogations, but one day he said, "This is important. We will take time to do it." And this might have been the first time in my life that I heard the phrase, "to take time." We will never have time until we consciously make a choice to take it. This gives us the power to make time by deciding what has priority in our lives and what doesn't. So I encourage you to take control of your life and don't procrastinate. Number 3, the only way to learn is from mistakes. They can be ours or someone else's, but this is the only way our brain gets stimulated to learn. Our entire education system concentrates on perfection, whereas encouraging mistakes actually makes more sense, even though it sounds a bit counterintuitive at first. Don't shoot for perfection. In fact, go and make as many mistakes as you can, and please, for the love of God, instead of pitying and blaming yourself, always look forward and learn from your mistakes. Allow me to be an example. A few months ago, I didn't know anything about shooting and editing videos, or a difference between a dynamic microphone or a big membrane condenser microphone, one of which I'm using right now to record this video. I didn't know any of that stuff, and yet I'm talking to you right now and making mistakes, because this is the only way to go. Number 4, you cannot always invest your time in something that benefits you. Your brain needs some time to just shut off and reboot. I learned this from the same friend, by the way. So play a computer game, watch a movie, spend time with your loved ones, or maybe simply lay on the bed. No need for a book, and don't you dare stare at your phone. Just lay there and do nothing. Quick note, be careful with scheduling movie or game sessions right after you learn something. Your brain needs some time to process. Give it some time. Number 5, there is a difference between studying and learning. Studying is a process where you need to understand every single word and concept, whereas learning can be anything from, "Hey, I watched a video about this guy explaining how to build a rocket," to, "Hey ma, I built a rocket in my backyard." Learning and studying might seem to be the same thing at the first glance, but they are indeed on different sides of the spectrum. People who like to study need more time to finish projects since they tend to overcomplicate things. However, their deep knowledge makes them experts in their field and also makes them great teachers. On the other hand, people who prefer to learn things take the hands-on approach and are very pragmatic, meaning they can build things fastly. However, their knowledge is rather broad because they spend most of their time trying out new things. Are you someone who likes to read books and a bunch of tutorials before trying new things? Or are you someone who can't wait to get their hands dirty? There are pros and cons to both approaches, and finding the balance is key. Number 6. Learning is useless if you keep forgetting things. The brain remembers images better than text. Use it. Learning different places stimulate different senses so that your brain creates more and more associations in your head. And most importantly, use it or lose it. You cannot just watch videos, read books, and listen to podcasts. If you never actually use what you learn, I guarantee you will forget it. So you better take notes. In the first part of this video, we talked about motivation and habits. This part actually covers what it means to understand learning. And here's how you combine the two. Number 1, create a routine for learning. Let's say every evening I read 10 pages of that book that I'm reading. Or every morning during breakfast I watch 2 educational videos. Be careful though. You have to make sure that these goals are realistic, and a good way to do it is to make them small and concrete. I call this deterministic baby steps, mostly because I can. So instead of saying 1 chapter every evening, be more specific. Specify exactly how many pages you want to read. And instead of saying I'm gonna watch a few videos in the morning, specify exactly how many videos, or even better, how much time you can afford to spend on them. Number 2, track your progress. Get a physical, analog calendar and put it on the wall. Every day you follow your habit, you make a mark in the calendar. You cannot underestimate the power of this. If you miss 1 day, don't worry about it. Just keep going the next day like it never happened. Assuming you stay persistent, your brain will rewire itself and translate your routine into a habit. We've covered a lot of ground, so here's a quick overview. Number 1, motivation comes and goes. Number 2, habits stay. And number 3, because they stay, we can't get rid of them. We have to replace bad habits with good ones. Numbers 4, 5, and 6. Learning is a journey and not a destination. It takes time and requires mistakes. Number 7, you need rest. It's like with working out. The muscles don't grow in the gym, they grow when you sleep. Number 8, find a balance between studying and learning. Number 9, help your brain not to forget. And finally, numbers 10 and 11, create a routine and track your progress. It's Vlad. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Join our community and stay safe.